8.
Woo!
Finding and showing homes. It's one of my favorites. You're going to be blessed today with a presenter that's great at this piece of it and will present the information very well. How many of you went out and previewed 10 homes out in person in real life, saw 10 houses? Beautiful, beautiful. We have 2. All right, that's good. That's a good thing. Tell me, give me an aha about that experience.
Well, there was one in particular that I saw, and I was talking to the agent, and the housing agent, and it was someone who, the daughter of the owner, he trained and for the price that he had it set, and we were talking about it, and I said, well, the housing needs to be a little more expensive, do one fix, and because it needs total cleaning, but apparently the daughter and the owner don't want to do anything to the house. They want to refresh. I said, well, if they put something into it, it'll be better than they can get.
Yeah,
What's the script for that?
It's cheaper that way. Well,
Yeah,
they
it's
said
true.
they're going to give $5,000 for them. I said, and I told her, she said, and I told him that they were asking $380, and he says, and I told him that I could probably get them $365, and I thought to myself, I don't think they're $365.
Yeah.
The house
Right,
is
it makes
big.
a difference.
The house is big,
Yeah.
and it's really, it would be nice if they could just
Right.
put something on it.
Yes.
So.
Any other ahas? Victor, do you have an aha from an experience? Yeah. Does it help you to go out and see the houses physically?
Gives you a visual.
Right? I mean, you know your inventory this way, right? This is why it's on the daily 10-4. If I had a clicker, I would click to the next slide, but I don't. Wait, there we go. Oh, this is the price to sell. This is the wrong one. Okay, well, back here on the daily 10-4, this is why one of the objectives is to preview 10 homes, right? Because they want you out to see your inventory, right? Did you get your 10 contacts? You got 4, okay. Did you write 10 notes? Did you speak with 10 people? What's the difference between adding 10 new contacts and speaking with 10 people? What's the difference between those two things?
Those 10 people might not be part of may not be a new contact. It could be SOI, it could be.
Right.
It could be the fact that you had a conversation with somebody and didn't
Right.
get their information.
Having a conversation with someone is having a conversation with someone who's already know, like, trust you is just as vital as going out and getting someone new. You need both of those things to advance your business forward. You can't just depend on one. That's the reason it's on the daily 10-4. You go out, you meet 10 new people, and you talk to 10 people in your database.
So does that mean talking to 20 people?
Yep. Well, no, you're going to have to probably talk to more than 20 because you're going to add 10 people to the database.
But I mean, at minimum, you have to talk to 20 people.
Minimum. If you got 100% conversion on the 10 new people, then that's 20 conversations. But it's more likely you're going to end up having 30 or 40, depending on how scripted you are, right? Are you practicing your scripts?
So the new contacts don't go into the 10. Well, they do, but if you had.
It's two separate things is all I'm trying to say. You're going to go meet 10 new people and add them to your database, and you're talking to 10 people who are already there, right? You're doing two things. You're both farming and hunting. You're farming and you're hunting. You're hunting for today's food, and you're farming for tomorrow's food, yes? Make sense? Okay, so we're going to get right into it today. I was going to try to turn down the volume. There we go. So we're going to get right down into it today. You get the pleasure of being presented to today with Aaron Condell.
All right.
Show Holmes. He does not have intro music.
I know.
Today,
I'm slipping. I didn't set up my intro music.
But the entry is the same, right? And the energy will be the same.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. How we doing today?
Great.
How are you?
All right. Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to see if I can.
That's on the wrong slide, by the way.
It's the wrong slideshow. I will try to use it since you're fixing it for us. I want to see if I can go on our Facebook real quick and see if anybody is watching live. And tagged you in a post. Look at that. Join us live for Ignite. Find the show Holmes on YouTube. Oh. So I don't know if I'll be able to see. How am I supposed to interact? I don't think I can. No interaction on YouTube. All right. So. No, I guess our live video goes through YouTube now. So, yeah, no, I don't need anything on there. Let's see. All right. There's no clicker, just the mouse?
Yeah, it's disappeared since last week.
Oh. I have one in the car. I could have brought it. Let's get started. Expectations, action revealed. Contacts, no cards. All right. So Drew already went through the daily 10-4. What are your thoughts on that? On the 10?
Effective.
Is it?
It's extremely effective if you do it.
Oh, okay. So
I've got more point. I've been focusing on getting new contacts and talking to as many people as possible. And I may not be hitting my numbers, but my appointment setting and the amount of appointments that I have weekly has increased by like 500%.
okay. Okay. What are you doing differently?
Focusing.
Okay. And then what are those conversations?
Most of them are buyer conversations, but those conversations are leading towards getting information and setting the appointment. So whether it is a lot of people that I've contacted right now are potential buyers, they're looking online, what have you, and it's contacting those people, seeing where they're at in their home search, and either the goal is to set an appointment and sit down with them so that you get them in and sign a contract. But if not, at the very least, at least getting them into a drip system to where I can stay in contact with them.
Okay. Nurture 'em. Okay. All right. What about the other three of you? Your 10-4, how's that? How's that going?
It's, for me, it's going slow.
Slow?
Because in my database, I do have a database, but I have about 54 people. But from many of them, I don't have their phone number. I do have their email address. So what I'm doing is I am texting, instead of.
So emailing and not texting because you don't have their phone number.
I'm emailing them.
Okay.
What I do is I have a pre-formatted letter. I type it and then I email it.
Okay.
Or I email a message. I do have their.
So how do you have email address and no phone number for people that are in your sphere of influence? How did that happen?
Because there's people that I got, for example, when I worked at the mall at the kiosk, they would give me the email address.
Oh,
They
okay.
wouldn't give me the phone number.
Okay.
In some of them, they would give me the phone number, but would not give me anything else.
Okay.
So I try to get at least 2 pieces of information, but they only gave me 1. So what I've done is on all those people, because I have their full names, and some of them I have the address. So what I've done is gone to the title company website and verified that they're still there. So I have people that have been there since for 15, 20 years. So I'm reaching to them to see where they are in terms of, are you ready to sell or something
Right.
But my letter will ask them, this is what I'm doing. I met you at the mall on such and such a date, because I have a date when I met
Right.
you. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm still in real estate, blah, 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 Williams. And I try to put, for example, I've been doing
So
the market summary.
Okay, that's what I was going to get into. You have to have, bring them some value, right? All right. How long you been in the business?
Well, I've been in business for quite some time. I've been licensed since '88.
Oh, okay.
I worked there was a gap that I had because I was raising a family. But I worked at another broker.
I'm just going to
for
find the
about
volume
16
here.
years. And I was involved in I was an audio agent for about 7 years.
Oh, okay.
So, short sale, things like that.
What are you doing to maybe contacts leads?
Well, I just go to my sphere of influence. And then
Hopefully they can't hear that. You hear that buzzing?
yeah.
Let's not go down. Let's not. I did, and that still didn't. It's coming from the TV. It sounds like. Let's not go down that rabbit hole right now. But it's okay. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's just feedback noise. You guys can hear it or no?
Yeah.
Is it pretty loud? Mute. Mute. Hey, all right, we're getting it together. So let's do this. I was asking about that because it's kind of off topic. This one is actually pretty quick, so definitely won't be in here for 3 hours on this session of Ignite. It's just about finding and showing homes, which that's KW Cares money. It says, instructor, cover this page thoroughly. Today's expectations. So the expectations for today are to learn the techniques for qualifying homes that you find online or on the MLS, developing your showing skills, and practice powerful scripts that will help your buyers in the decision-making process. Who practices scripts in here? One? Why doesn't?
There are so many scripts that I try to concentrate one at a time until I get good at it. So
Okay.
for the home showing, I
Okay. Not a problem there. The thing with scripts is a lot of people don't like scripts because they don't want to sound like a robot. They want to be real and speak and have a real conversation with some. Scripts are just like a guideline so that you say everything that you need to say, so that you can find objections, so that you can move the process along. Yes, at first you're reading a script, it doesn't sound like you sound like a robot, you sound like somebody else. But as you internalize the script, you personalize it, and you say the same thing, you just say it and it sounds like you, right? So you should be practicing scripts daily. And even what works better for me is to record myself saying them and then listen to it back. That helps me memorize it a lot more than just reading it and just saying it as I read it. Yeah. I realized one day that I know like every song in the world. So I'm like, how do I memorize these songs so fast? But I can't memorize this damn script. So eventually I was like, oh, then I might have a little too much fun. I don't want to start rapping a script to somebody one day. So action reveal, review the mission state, blah, blah, man. We already reported our 10-4. Oh, look, your turn, lead generate for business. Have you guys been doing that? The time in every class where you actually lead generate?
Not every class. Every class has been different, but for the most part, we've done it in a few classes.
Okay. Well, this one, did anybody do the homework? The mission for this class, which I believe was to find some businesses. This is like a B2B script, business to business. So remind participants, real play is the money-making activity done in this classroom with the support and guidance of you and fellow participants. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so
That was one of the calls that we were making yesterday.
you did business-to-business calls yesterday? Oh, okay. Because you have,
Is that what we were doing?
you shouldn't have been here yesterday.
On Monday? Monday? No, Monday we were going over talking to buyers, and setting the appointments.
So here, if you go to page 9, let's
I
stay,
don't know where the B2B thing came in.
Oh, it was a listing, it was
was
a
buyer's
buyer's consultation when we were doing.
last time? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but there was a mission statement at the end of that, right? That should have told you to, or instructed you to. I don't have that. You see the mission statement at the end of session 7? Oh, I just touched my eye. Oh no.
There's no mission statement here, 307. Where are you looking at? What page is it on? What page is it saying? At the bottom.
I don't have session 7. I only have 8 here. But there should have been a mission statement. Maybe it's in the front. Anyways, moving right along. Yeah, there's a mission after every class. So if you go to page 9, you got a couple of scripts on there. Who was in Elastic Night?
Oh, I think, prepare for your next class.
Yeah.
That was on page 57,
Of session 7?
yes.
Okay. And what does that say on there?
57. It says, complete your daily 10-4, blah, blah, and then it says extend your learning practice scripts with a partner. Follow up with previous conversation.
I do not, but I'll grab you one. Oh, yeah.
I mean, your prepared contact list.
Grow your database.
So what's your prepared contact list? Should be it right there. All right, so as soon as he gets back, we're going to pair up. If you guys want to get to, are you on page 9?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to mix it up. We're going to wake you up a little bit. So if everybody could stand real quick.
Yeah.
Stand up for me. So I got a little bit of Mike Ferry training when I was with Century 21 a couple years ago. And they are very big on scripts. The script practice is great. It's top level. That's about all they do well. Oh, I'm live. Sorry. So with that said, let's take page 9 from top to bottom. Let's go with, you don't have to read the title of the page or the bold writing that's above the actual script. Go ahead and read the first 2 scripts on page 9. Well, the only 2 scripts on page 9. Read them out loud to yourselves. Well, but out loud. So top to bottom, read them out loud. Go. So you, oh, we got mutes. Mutes here. Just read it out loud. Yeah, top to bottom. Everybody at the same time.
Hi, this is today's persona. I'm Nico Estrada with Keller Williams Realty.
I'm in the process. Right, just give me a client. Since I frequently have clients ask me for a good dentist, I only want to trust companies to refer them to. Since I have excellent service from you, would you and your business be interested in being included? Great. I like to establish these professional referral relationships to help grow each other's business as well. So if I were to refer clients to you, would you be willing to refer clients that are looking to buy or sell a home to me with the assurance that I will provide them with high-level customer service that you expect? Excellent. How about we confirm each other's contact information that we can start? Hi, I'm Aaron with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm in the process of creating a list of preferred business and service providers to give to my clients. Since I frequently have clients ask me for a good dentist, landscaper, etc., I'm looking for a trusted company to refer them to. I've heard good things about your company. Would you and your business be interested in being included? Great. I like to establish these professional referral partnerships to help grow each other's business as well. So if I were to refer clients to you, would you be willing to refer your clients that are looking to buy or sell a home to me with the assurance that I will provide them with high-level customer service? If yes, excellent. How about we confirm each other's contact information that we could get started? All right. Thoughts on the script? Simple, easy, no pressure, right? Nothing crazy. So,
setting up a line for referrals.
right. So that's B2B. So do me the next favor and stay standing, partner up, and then one of you read one script to the other person, interact, and then the other person read the other script.
What's up, man? Same page. Want to go first or want to go first?
Hi. My name is
What's your name?
the process of creating
Nice to
a
meet
list
you.
for business and service providers.
Hey, Victor, how's it going?
She's
Good. My name is Nico Estrada. I'm with Keller Williams Realty. Listen, I'm in the process of creating a list of preferred business and service providers to give my clients, to my clients. And since I frequently have clients asking me for a good realtor, I only wanted trusted companies to refer them to. Since I have an excellent service, since I've had excellent service from you, would you and your business be interested in being included?
So if I were to refer clients to you,
Cool. Well,
would you be willing to refer
I'd like to
clients
establish
that I'm looking
these
to buy?
professional partnerships to help grow each other's businesses as
With the
well.
assurance that I will
So if
provide
you
with a
do,
high level
if I were to refer you
that
clients,
expect.
if I were to refer clients to you,
Excellent. How
would you be
about
willing to
we
refer your
put each
clients
other's contact information
that are looking to buy or sell a home to me, with the assurance that I would provide them with the same high level of customer service that you would expect?
Yeah, this is Carol from.
Fantastic. How about we confirm each other's contact information just so we can get started?
This is
All right.
client.
Switch.
So since I frequently have clients that ask me for, governor or,
How's it going, Nico? I'm Victor with Keller Williams Realty. I'm in the process of creating a list of preferred business and service providers to give to my clients. Since I frequently have clients ask me for a good, I only want trusted companies to refer to them. Since I have had excellent service from you, would you and your business be interested in being
so if I were to refer your clients.
You know what, yeah, that sounds pretty fair, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Great. I'd like to establish these professional referral partnerships to help grow each other's businesses. So if I were to refer clients to you,
Now,
would
how about
you be willing to refer your clients that are looking to buy or sell a home to me with the assurance that I will provide them a high level of customer service that you expect?
Yeah.
You both went?
absolutely.
Excellent. How about we confirm each other's contact information? So
That was quick.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much. I look forward to doing business with you.
Excellent.
You came after scripts on purpose, huh? So,
It sounds a little better and easier
yeah?
to get off it and be a person.
Okay. Good. So uncomfortable a little bit? No? Good. The great thing about scripts is the great thing about you all in front of the camera.
Oh,
Uh,
Are you serious?
yeah.
I didn't think about that.
So, the great thing about like when you do scripts practice, it's more uncomfortable with somebody that they know what you're supposed to say. So if you mess up with somebody that's standing there with the script and they're, oh, you messed up that one. When you actually lead generate, that person doesn't know what you're supposed to be saying, word for verbatim, you know? So if you mess up there, it's fine because they don't know, or if you miss something, they don't know. So that's why scripts practice should always be harder than the game, right? As a football coach, that's one of my things, right? The practice should always be harder than the game, then you can be more successful in the game, right? So that's why it's important to do scripts practice with people. We're just getting to page 11 now. In session, what session are we? 8? Session 8. Finding and showing homes. All right, so let's hit it. So page 11, get your head in the game. So the journey. It says here that, if I skip to that second bullet point, which stood out to me earlier, was 92% of buyers use the internet in their home search process. What do you think about that number, 92%?
Yeah, nowadays they go more to the internet, or they go there first,
Yeah,
and then they.
I think that number's inaccurate. It's an old number. That's been in,
I think
in
it's 100%.
that's that's been in this Ignite book since I've been with Keller Williams for 4 years. It's been at 92%. Now it's
99,
probably 99%. Yeah. I doubt if anyone, by the time you get in contact with somebody about buying or selling a home, they've already looked. They've already jumped on, yeah, they've already jumped on a website. Before they went to an open house, they probably found the open house on the internet looking at homes, you know? Unless you're cold calling and you hit someone and you get them before they've actually started any of the process, that's probably the 1 out of 100 people that have not started to look at. You know, they were just thinking about it. Oh, I was going to start looking, but you called me first. But if you meet somebody at an open house or they contact you, they've probably already been on the internet. So I think that 92% is a little low. Let's see. So that first one, the typical home buyer searches for 10 weeks and viewed 10 homes. Like actually visited homes, that 10 homes. Because everyone's looked at way more than that on the internet. So what are your thoughts on that, the 10-week process? If the typical home buyer searches for 10 weeks before purchasing, what does that mean for you and your business?
You need to get there in 5 weeks.
You need to let them look around for 5 weeks?
No, you need to get to that person in 5 weeks.
What does that mean? What do you mean by
The
that?
person, if you haven't already made contact with that person, if they're looking for 10 weeks prior, is this after you've already had the contract signed, or is this?
The 10 weeks is saying that before they actually purchase a home, they've been looking for 10 weeks.
Got it. So
Or
with the realtor-
thinking about it, not necessarily with a realtor.
Exactly.
So a lot of them will start online by themselves
So it's
or start looking at open houses, right, 10 weeks prior. So to me, that means when you meet somebody and they say, I'm thinking about buying a home, right? I would say the majority of real estate agents, especially anybody trained by Mike Ferry, because he says if they're not ready to do something in the next 3 to 5 days, don't talk to them. But so if you meet someone, right, most realtors will say, oh, you're thinking about buying. All right, I'll call you. I'll get your information. I'll call you. So they may reach out 1 time or 2 times, right? But then their follow-up will stop, right? And their nurturing process, most realtors is not that deep. It doesn't go, that many levels. They won't last 10 weeks, right? Because if it's immediate satisfaction they're looking for, like I want the buyer that's ready right now, right? And patience. The fortune is in the follow-up, so they say, right? So if it takes 10 weeks, that means you need to be prepared to nurture for a minimum of 10 weeks, right? Which all of our systems, our systems in command now allow you to set up your nurture process so that you can already have that in place. So that means adjust your expectation, right? So expect a minimum of 10 weeks to nurture your buyers and be patient and be persistent, right, over those 10 weeks. With you guys and your buyers, what are your experiences? Does that sound about right? The 10-week process for meeting a buyer and actually getting them in a home?
It's been a while. It's been a while since I worked with the buyer.
Okay.
I got 2 buyers that came to me. Well, one I found at the open house. They had already pre-qualified with the lender. So
Okay.
it actually took only 6 weeks to get in my home, and that was because we submitted an offer, we didn't get accepted.
Right,
So
right.
we finally got accepted.
Nice. Okay, so you're due for one of those buyers that takes a while. You got to even out to 10 weeks. So you got 3 weeks, 6 weeks. You got like a 12-weeker coming up.
So what happens is when they're ready with the letter of the lender, then they're ready to buy.
Mhm.
But they don't have that, then yeah, it will take them.
Right. So, but most people, one, a lot of lenders have realtors that they'll refer their clients to. So if somebody has a pre-qual, unless they got it from Rocket Mortgage, right? They'll usually be referred to someone. Like I got a sign call yesterday, not pre-qualified, just was driving around, saw the sign, lives around that neighborhood. So her process, like she still needs to get pre-qualified, her and her husband. So that's going to take some time, right? So I'm prepared to nurture her through this process and guide her through. So all this is saying is be prepared for it to take a while. Yeah, and then have your systems in place so that when you get that buyer, everything happens the same way, so you can have success on a higher level.
So, sorry, can I ask you something? You have so much experience. When you get a person thinking to buy, they respond to your email, your phone call, maybe 4 or 5 times, and then they stop responding. Then you try to get a hold of them. How many times do you try to get a hold of that person? Then you have talked 4 times, and then you stop responding.
So for me, I'm a little old school. I have a spreadsheet that's my pipeline. So when I call someone, so if somebody says, hey, I'm thinking about buying, okay, great. Have you spoke to a lender? You know what area you want to be in? Because you got to give them something before you, like to say, go call the lender and get back to me. Like you'll be lucky if you get them back. You know what I mean? So you got to give a little bit to get a little bit, right? To get their commitment, to feel like you've invested in them. But to answer your question, I go from like call them tomorrow. So I'll go, let's say I spoke to them today, I'll go in my spreadsheet, I'll write it, boom, I spoke to them. Today's 3/11, right? 3/11 call buyer. They said they're going to reach out to their credit union. And then I'll go and I'll put, okay, let's follow up tomorrow. So then when I follow up tomorrow, let's say I don't get an answer tomorrow, right? I'll go, all right, follow up in 2 more days. So I'll give 2 days and then I'll follow up again. Say I don't get an answer there, right? At a certain point, it turns into, I'll call you in a week. And then it turns into, I'll call you in a month. And then it turns into just a monthly text message. You can't force someone to buy a home. You can't force them to take the steps through the process. You can guide them along, and if they really want to buy a home, they'll do what it takes. But you can't push someone through the process. I mean, maybe you can. I'm not willing to push someone through the process of purchasing a home. I'll guide you through it if you have the desire. But if you're not going to answer and you're not going to do the things that need to be done for you to purchase, I'm not going to sit here every day. Hey, did you call? Hey, did you get pre-qualified? Hey, did you fill out the application? Hey, talked to you yesterday, left you a message yesterday, text you tomorrow. No, at a certain point, it's a weekly phone call, and then after that, it's a monthly, hey, are you ready? And after that, it's a monthly text. Just checking in, are you ready to purchase? I probably have between 15 and 20 people right now that are just on a monthly text. Like when their date comes up in my pipeline, hey, just checking in, and then I have a text message thread of 5 unanswered texts. But it takes 5 seconds for me to type a quick text to them and send it out. So when they're ready, eventually, hopefully, they call me or they reply to my text. Until they text me back or call me and say, hey, leave me the hell alone, I'm going to keep shooting them a text message every month or 2 or every 3 months until they say stop.
And you know what works? I have some clients that stopped answering, and then I started sending them items of value.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what? Interest rates just dropped, and then they're just, you know what that means? And then I started getting them engaged more, and I was able to see them.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to lose them. They were not answering.
So the other thing I started doing was I do a monthly email through MailChimp. And when you do that, it generates like a link that you can use just like with the MLS, it generates that permalink. You can send to anyone, and they click it, and it'll take them to those search results you just pulled up. MailChimp does the same thing. So I can send that link through text message to some. If I see, oh, you're not opening my emails, I can send that link through a text message, and they'll get the same info. So they'll get the interest rate update. They'll get the hot new listing update through that. So that's another thing that works as well. So another item of value. You know what I mean? So it's not just, hey, call me.
Yeah.
Hey, here's some great news, interest rates. Check out these interest rates. Oh, check out these hot new listings.
Check out this
Right.
house, it has all the 5 things that you wanted or something. That sounds exciting.
And what happens is once you have that pipeline built, like you'll be on the MLS looking for a completely different client, and you'll come across a house that fits with the other person. Oh, this is the neighborhood that they wanted. Or it's same thing with sellers. Like, oh, this is in the same neighborhood as that lead I got. Let me send, hey, this house just popped up in your neighborhood. And then you can send it over that way. So it's, again, another item of value, something to get them to engage. And if that's not working, they're just not ready. But the thing is, you just keep on until they say stop. Yeah. I just closed 2 houses, the Normandy and Dania, they're in the same neighborhood. I just closed those 2 houses from an open house I did in 2010. Yeah, so I just sent her the monthly email, and then I would shoot a text over every once in a while. Hey, how's your daughter? Because she brought her daughter to the open house. Hey, I was just around your neighborhood. Just wanted to check on you, see how things are going, and call me if you need me. But it wasn't. Are you ready to sell? Are you ready to sell? Are you ready to sell? Hey, no, I was just. You know what? You crossed my mind. I was just in the neighborhood. Just figured I'd check on you. How things going? Boom, and I don't ask for anything. And then eventually, 9 years later, she sold both. She had 2 houses in that neighborhood. But it's just follow-up pipeline. After a while, it takes 2 seconds. Copy and paste. The blast email, you put it together, you send it out, and it goes to everybody at the same time. So it's one button. Just to go a little. So that's why you tag your people in your contact in your database. I use ABCE. So an A client is somebody I know will absolutely do business with me. And if somebody says, if they have a friend, family member, or coworker that's thinking about buying or selling, I know for sure they're going to say, hey, call Aaron, right? So a B client is if they're going to buy or sell, I'm pretty sure they're going to call me, right? But if somebody else says they're buying or selling, I don't think they'll bring me up. But when they're ready, I'm selling their home, right? And then the C client, I think that if they're going to buy or sell, they'll call me. And if somebody else is I know for damn sure they're not even bringing my name up, right? So I skip D and I go straight to E. So E client, I don't know if they're ever going to buy or sell a damn thing. Doubt if they call me. I know I'm not getting a referral for me, and it's E because all they're getting from me is a monthly email because it takes 0 extra time and effort for me to add them to the email blast. So that's all they'll ever get from me. But one day, I'm sure one of them will call me. That email is going to hit at the right time, and they'll say, oh, this guy's been emailing me for 8 years. Let me call him.
And maybe those that have not answered, maybe one day they'll say, hey, so-and-so stopped sending me messages. I wonder what happened.
Right.
I got a phone call like that.
Did you?
Yeah.
I got a phone call, this lady that I met at an open house like 7 months ago, and I put her down an email. I said, do my weekly picks and stuff like that, and I missed like a week or 2 just because life happens. And she called me, and I sent her, I had just sent her the email too, and she called me. She's like, don't stop sending me these emails. She's like, I'm still looking.
Okay.
And then I called her. And I called her, and we had a full conversation on what she was looking for, and now she's back in the wheel.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So we're just now getting to the 3rd bullet point on the first on page 11. So this one says 50% of buyers use a mobile website or application in their home search. There's nothing for us to talk about on that one. I think that number is higher now as well. 98% of buyers who use an agent viewed real estate agents as a useful information source. So I was a car salesman. Yeah, back when I was.
How many
What
years
was your
or
pitch?
how long?
So I'm gonna give you the backstory real quick because we got time today. So I had just turned 20 when I found out my daughter was on the way, right? Oh, let me go back a little further. I graduated, I went to ABC, nice, cool. I got a job at Magic Mountain, my first job, right? Yeah, so I'm like going down there, I'm working there. That's where I first got the like, yo, I'm working harder than this next person and we're getting the same check and I don't like that, right? So that was that experience. So I'm working hard, I got promoted, right? And I thought I was balling. I think I got to like $11 an hour when they promoted me to a lead. I used to run the go-karts and then the dive devil thing where they pull you up and they drop you. So I used to run like that area. So cool, once I got promoted to lead, they were like, okay, well you can work like whenever you want pretty much. So I lived at Magic Mountain. Then I got a new supervisor, I got a tattoo, and I went in I went in on my day off, right? And you couldn't have any tattoos showing. So the little polo was just a little short, you can see my tattoo or whatever. And it was my day off, and I didn't like completely shave. I was 18 and like I could shave once and I was good for like a week and a half, right? So I go in on my day off, the supervisor's like, no, you gotta work over there today. I was like, no, I wanna work over here, and it's my day off. And she was like, no. So I said, you know what? I'm going home. How about that? And she said, well, before you go, you didn't shave. So I'm writing you up, right? I was like, okay, great. So backstory on that, you know who Redman and Method Man are? They're rappers, right? They came to Magic Mountain and they were like just walking around the park like regular people. And I saw like the little Spider-Man guy. He was special. He got straight to the front of the line. And Redman and Method Man are waiting in line. So I was like, hey, come on to the go-karts, man. I got you, right? So 30 minutes later, they're at the gate like, AJ, what's up? And I was like, oh, come on in. So basically I got in trouble for that too. So, so I tell you that to say I got fired from there. Got fired from Magic Mountain. I actually was working at Magic Mountain because it was kind of seasonal. You know, wintertime, they're not open all the time. And I was working at Rite Aid Warehouse. Again, I thought I was balling. I got a promotion. So I went and bought a car. It was a little Lancer, Mitsubishi Lancer Rally Art, like the race car version. I put a muffler on there. It was stick shift. I had stickers all on it, right? It was great driving that. Actually, I didn't drive that to Magic Mountain. It was in the garage covered. I thought I had a Benz or something. But it was like in the garage covered, and I would take my little piece of crap first car down to like Magic Mountain every day. Then I found out I had a kid on the way. Like maybe 4 months after I bought the car. So I'm just turning 20. I took the car back to Mitsubishi. I drove up. I said, hey, I got to return this car. I got a kid on the way. Like they said they're expensive, so I don't want this payment anymore. Like you got to take this car back. And the guy was like, it's not how it works. You can't return a car. But what if you just made more money? I was like, oh, that makes sense. Well, why don't you work here, right? So it got me to start selling cars. I told you that whole story so you could hear it, but I started selling cars. So I say that to say, as realtors, we're not car salesmen. We're not viewed like car salesmen, right? They say like car salesmen.
We are viewed as car salesmen.
Hell no. Hell no. I was a car. I'll tell you right now, hell no. Like people like want to buy a car and they like pull up on the curb and they're like, is there shit, I see a car salesman. Skirt! Right? Or they're like, oh, we don't see anybody, and then they get out and they'll like look at the first car they can get to.
Yeah.
And they're like,
You're looking for the sales guy.
soon as they see us, they're like, oh, get back in the car, honey, go. They'll like leave their wife sometime. I don't want to meet me at the light, honey. Like, and they're gone, right? So what took me here was our bullet point on 98% of buyers who used an agent viewed a real estate agent as an informative source. Like, we're a good source. They look at us like, you got the information. right? We can go to you. They don't like, they dread talking to a car salesman. What are the other ones? Like a lawyer. They have them ranked like most most hated people of the world. Car salesmen, and I think it's like lawyers because they think they're shiesty. But we're not viewed that way, right? They look at us as a good source. So we're able to, as long as you're not bothering people or overly aggressive with people, you'll be fine. You can't, earlier I said you can't force somebody to buy a home, right? With car sales, it was like, yo, we have them on the lot. Let's get them emotionally excited about this car, and we can get them to sign and get them the hell out of here in one of our cars, and then it's too late. Like, you bought it, so sorry. You can't do that with a house because you got a 30 to 45 day escrow period. 17 days, they can just cancel. So if you push them into the wrong house, you're gonna feel it in escrow, right? They're gonna, oh, well, that plug doesn't work. We don't want this one anymore, right? It's a completely different ballgame. So you're not hated unless you get annoying or overly aggressive. You'll be able to build your database and stay in contact with people and build your damn business as long as you're cool, right? Don't be a car salesman in real estate. I just got to, for anybody online, I apologize for making you listen to that whole backstory. You can make fun of me for trying to return a car. So more than 50% of buyers reported finding the right home was the most difficult step in the home buying process. Well, what else is going to be difficult? Pre-qualifying? Maybe for certain people.
Yes, this is a process and it's not going to be.
Negotiation sometimes, if somebody's really sticklers, if someone's being stickler on something, and they take weeks to respond, and
right.
nobody's answering, and it's stressful.
So that doesn't happen with my clients because I tell them that like day one. I'm like, my favorite part is negotiating. So just let me do my thing when we get there. Like it is, and sometimes it's like my clients are like, "Oh no, we'll take that's fine," and I'm like, "No, let me try." Like, that's my It's like you're gonna take my favorite part away from me. Let me at least try to negotiate something. Yeah. Oh, we got the home inspection back. No, that's fine. We'll take it as is. No, let me do my thing real quick. Let me at least try. Let me get you $5,000 real quick. Oh wow, now I'm a hero. But I think that's, I guess, the stressful part, like going through it, but the most difficult part, finding the right home. So that's working with the right realtor, right? So we'll get there. That's what this chapter is about. 24% of the recent home buyers reported the primary reason for the recent home purchase was a desire to own a home. That's a low number, 24%. 9% purchased a new home due to a job-related relocation or move. I've had those.
There's a lot of people continually coming into the Antelope Valley because of all the businesses that are coming in. So
That's the story of the Antelope Valley, though.
what's that?
That's the story of the AV. People coming out here for jobs and cheap homes. Yeah.
So wait, what's the other percentage here where people bought a home?
So are you talking about the 9% purchase due to relocation?
Yeah, but there's only, there's not 100% there, so we're looking
So
at
other
only
people-
24 people.
So other people bought to get a bigger home, get a smaller home, maybe buying the first time, get out of an apartment. So upgrading, downsizing, relocating. That's part of my script. That's why it came out like
Desire to own a home. Oh, because they already owned a home. Okay, I hear what you're saying.
right. So it's, as far as relocation or move. So basically, if you get a job transfer or something, you got to relocate or move. So the other 90% are I'm upgrading, I'm downsizing, I'm first-time home buyer.
Got it.
So 8% bought for the desire to be in a better area or a change in family situation. Yeah.
Put those two things together.
Relocation or so those that 9% is all job related though. So
Yeah.
that's saying my
9%
job took me
is-
somewhere.
8% is all.
The 8% is like, yo, I got enough money to get to the west side from the east side. Let's make it happen. All right, so page 13. Make it happen, working with buyers. So we're going to talk about finding the right home, showing qualified homes, and bringing your buyers to a decision, which is probably the most important part. We all know how to find a home, right? We're going to cross, if you have a pen, cross out 92% and change that to like 98.9 after number 1 on find homes. Because more than 92% of people are on the internet. Some people are just, 92% of people are just constantly looking at Zillow or Trulia or Realtor. They just want to know, yeah. It made the nosy neighbor thing a lot easier these days, right?
You don't just talk to my neighbor. I just moved into the neighborhood, door knocked my neighbor's houses, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I want Zillow all the damn time."
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't plan on moving anytime soon." Yeah. He's like, "I bought this house in 2005. I stuck it out since then, so I'm not going anywhere."
So check. I'm gonna share a story that really has nothing to do with this, but because you said that, I was cold calling and talked to some people who have a rental property out here. They live out of town. Their note is $2,300. They're renting it out for $24, right? So like you got to save that $100 in case something happens with the property. Basically, they're making no money. So talking to her, she's like, "Yeah, but we're checking Zillow all the time and nothing's selling out there." And I was like, let me tell you about Zillow, right? Say you have a product like a website, right? And every time you go to a website, there's nothing to see. Aren't you going to stop going to that website? It's like, yeah. I'm like, so Zillow has to show homes for sale or else people will stop going to their website. So it's inaccurate information a lot of the time. I was like, houses are selling left and right out here. Like my last 5 sales all of them were at or above list price and they sold within 3 weeks. Like everything is selling. She's like, "Oh, really? Let me tell my husband that." Let me not put all their information out there about divorces and stuff. But so that's the thing. Like Zillow, people are on Zillow all the time. They were on Zillow all the time, but they're getting some of that inaccurate information. You know. So there's no doubt that your buyer. I'm not going to read. Sorry, that's not my style to just read it verbatim to you. So let's hit these bullet points. Step them to. Set them up on a buyer instant notification. So that's a drip. Everybody knows how to do that? Everybody has MLS in here? Right? Everybody knows how to do like the subscription. Boom, you don't have to do any work, but they get listings all the time. They think you're always thinking about them.
It would be nice. It would be nice to have a class on that. I think
Gavar does it.
I spent a long time trying to figure that out.
Oh yeah, you got it. They also have the videos online too. If you go to like Flex MLS has a YouTube page, so you can go on there. Yeah, and they send emails out. They send like, almost weekly. They'll send something out saying it's a tutorial on how to. They actually last week I believe they had a tutorial on doing better subscriptions. Yeah.
Isn't the app working better than that one? I don't have the app.
The Flex MLS app,
No.
it's cool. It does the job. It has it's. Oh, sure. We're live.
Okay.
It absolutely does. It's better. Nothing will be more accurate than our MLS, right? But most things are more accurate than Zillow. So let's just say we're in that in-between area there. So set them up on a drip campaign, monitor where they receive it, contact them when you find a property they should see. Boom. So where was I? It was a KW training. But one guy said that he had a buyer, or one of the things that he does is when he previews property, if it's a fit for one of his buyers, he'll call them from the property and say, "Hey, I'm calling you from the perfect home from you. I'm calling you from your future home right now. I'm here. It has everything. I'm standing here in the kitchen and blah, blah, blah." So I say that to say if you just drip campaign somebody, eventually they stop looking. They're on to you. Hey, this is just an automatic drip, right? So you still want to call and do other things to set yourself apart. And stay top of mind with them, because again, some people it takes a long time for them to buy. So if they're just getting a subscription email, and if they're getting too many, right? That's another thing you asked me about, that process. of the 10 weeks or the 10 damn months that it takes somebody to buy. After a while, after about 3 weeks, because initially I'm like, boom, I set the subscription up and I'm like, send it to them immediately. Every single day, send them an email. And then after 3 weeks, it's like, man, they're getting 4 emails a week from me. Let me pull back a little bit. So I'll go back in and change it to weekly, right? I have a couple of like listing leads, seller leads, who are interested. They showed some interest in selling, so I set them up with some comps, a drip campaign for comps, and it's been so after that initial email, I have them set up on like a monthly. Once a month, that subscription will go out, boom, they'll shoot them some comps that have sold recently, just so that they know what's happened in the last month in their exact neighborhood. So that the flexibility with that subscription, I'm saying like use that, don't let them catch on. Because initially they think you're so focused on them that you're actually searching, you're finding new stuff and you're sending it to them. Eventually they're going to be like, you know what, no, these are just coming. So taper it down to a week after a while, taper it down to a month after a while, right? I'm on page 14. This is where knowing the market can save time and frustration when working with buyers. Set the expectation that whenever the buyer sees a home online that they really like, they should do a drive-by before deciding if they really want to see the inside. If you have already previewed the home they want to see, be sure to let them know if you think it is a good match or not, and any relevant details you notice. So, working with buyers in 2020 and 2019 and 18 and all the way back to like 10, right? There was a time when realtors were like the first person to inform somebody about a new home on the market. That is no longer the case. I don't remember the last time I had a buyer that didn't send me homes more than I sent them homes. Like, hey, what about this one? Hey, what about this one? Hey, what about this house? And it's like, man, no, that one's in escrow. No, that one expired 3 years ago. No, like, no, that one is God. That's an auction. That price is not real. It's an auction. You got to pay cash, $10,000 at the front step of the house. Like, they're searching too, right? So the other thing is, as realtors, the only thing we have to sell is our time, right? And we don't want to waste time looking at properties that aren't a fit, right? And a lot of times, so we do this every single day, right? We're realtors 365 days of the year, 366 times this year. And we look at homes every day, all the time. So I don't know, it's different for everyone. Some people just love it. I'm over looking at houses. Like, there's really nothing new anymore. Like, I've seen those kind of granite countertops. I've seen those laminate wood floors that look real, but they're not real, right? I've seen the tile that looks like wood. That's great. But for our clients, they don't do this every year, right? The average person buys between 7 and 9 years, right? So it's exciting for them. It's fun. Like, I try to match their excitement. I try to fake it. But for me, it's not there anymore. So I'm saying they're going to send us homes, and it's you're kind of like, sometimes you're like, you know what? Just drive by. How many times raise your hand if you've shown a client or you set a showing appointment up for a home for one of your clients, and as soon as you pull up to the front of the house, they're like, no, not this one. I don't really like this one. And you're like, shit, I set the appointment. I took my time to, like, you could have drove up to the front yourself.
But there is no, like they said in one of the videos, it's a beauty contest. So if you get to the front of the house and it's not attracted to the eyes, or it has something that says, I really want to take a look at that one. Sometimes the house inside is not what they're looking for, but they go by and say, I'd like to see that one. And you go in and you tell them, well, this is only a 3 bedrooms and a den, and they go, well, still want to see it. What
Right.
do you do?
It depends. Depends on the client. So that happens with the majority of your clients. Like, they're not going to take your word for it until they learn to take your word for it. Like, over time, they'll be like, you know what? I can trust this person's word. So until then, you got to show them some stuff that you already know is not a fit. But as far as them pulling up to a home, it's good to have them, like I get to a point where I'm like, you know what, did you drive by it? Just go drive by, and if you like it still, then I'll set the appointment for you. Because you'll have those clients who want to see 1,000 homes. And you'll pull up. That's like, I was like the worst feeling in the world for me. It still is, bless you. When you pull up, like you set this appointment, and you drive out there, and you pull up, and they're like, oh no. I mean, we're here, so we'll go inside, but no, this is a no. And you like, shit, you could have done this without me. So it's good to say, you know what, drive by, check it out, make sure you like the neighborhood. Because it could be the neighbor across the street or next door that is all dead and they got 12 cars parked all in the grass, and you know what I mean? They're outside smoking and doing crazy stuff, and they're like, yeah, I don't want to live by that person. Oh, you could have found that out without me, right? And I spent my time, right, going out here. I could have been doing other things. So it's good to have them go drive. You know what? Go ahead and drive by the property, and then if you like it still, we'll set the appointment for you. All right? That's what this red writing that says instructor on the side says to me. So this number 4 at the top, continue to check in periodically to see what your buyers think. Okay, that's cool. Keep the focus on the best homes. We don't need to read that. Qualified homes found online. Check the MLS. Compare the features. I don't have to tell you that. Make a showing appointment. We all know what that means. All right. 15, page 15. Your turn. Qualifying properties. Choose a partner to work with. One will be the agent. The other will be the buyer. Buyer, determine the type of home you would like to buy. You can model it after your current home, a home, blah, blah, blah. Come up with the following criteria: price range, neighborhood or area, and number of bedrooms and bathrooms, and any other specifications. And then the person who's playing the agent will log on to the MLS. And does everybody have their laptop? No? Oh, okay. Who here has never, you guys have been on the MLS, and you have, we're not doing that. Skip! At home, those of you watching, log on to the MLS and look for homes for a fake buyer. All right. I'm supposed to give you, we just cut 15 minutes. Any ahas or things any of you want to share about what we've covered so far? And nothing about me selling cars and working at Magic Mountain?
Making the clients go do a drive-by.
Yeah.
To save your time, rather than put on around showing a bunch of homes mindlessly.
So, here's the danger. You tell your client, go ahead and drive by this home, and they go to drive by and it's an open house, and they walk in like, hey, and the agent says, you know what, I can probably get you the best deal on this house. I'm working with the seller, like, it just makes sense. And then they call you like 6 hours later, like, hey, actually they don't call you 6 hours later, they call you like 2 days later and say, hey, you reach out like, hey, I just sent you some more listings. What'd you think? Oh, you know what? That house you told us to drive by? We ended up making an offer with that agent. And we actually opened escrow yesterday.
That's unfortunate, because I just had you sign a buyer agreement, and we talked about this.
Right. So who signs buyer broker agreement with 1,000% of their clients?
I'm making it a habit too.
Yeah, I got trust issues. I had them before real estate. But so I'll give you an example. I got referred a client last year in Roseman. Right. Oh, we want a bigger house. Put the house on the market. I hooked them up with my lender. I'm not going to say what I was about to say because we're on camera. But I hooked them up with my lender. It's like, all right, I'm running their numbers. Everything looks good, though. Go ahead. Put their house on the market. First weekend, like 3 or 4 offers. Boom. Like, here's the best one. All right, we're going to take it. Okay, cool. But we're still waiting on Mr. Lender to confirm that we can, afford the higher payment. But he needs like the net sheet from this. All right, cool. I'll shoot him a net sheet. Top offer, I'm like, hey, we're going to take your offer. We're just waiting on one thing. We'll get it signed. We'll open up escrow. Mr. Lender delays, then ends up saying like, no, they can't. Their budget, the way Mr. Husband's income comes in, like
Bank account set up?
yeah, right. The way his bank account's set up, they can't do 325 like on the house that they want to purchase. So he has to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, great. Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I know you love this house. It was perfect for you, but we got to take it off the market. We can't open escrow. They can't buy the replacement home right now. All right, great. So I check in with them, a month later. Hey, how's everything going? Oh, yeah, it's going to be a little bit, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, great. Check in a month. Actually, I had them on a 6-week follow-up. 6 weeks later, hey, how you doing? Just checking in. How's everything going? Oh, everything's good. We're still not ready yet. Okay. Hey, Happy New Year. Hope everything's going well, da-da-da-da-da. I know you guys aren't ready yet, but I'm trying to hit 36 this year, so if you know anybody thinking about buying or selling, please send them out. Oh, absolutely. We will, and we're getting pretty close. So we'll be reaching out to you soon, right? And then here's Aaron 4 weeks later. Let me do some expired research. Right, boom. Oh no. I said, let me send out a hot new listings email to my database, right? Let me hit this little hot new listings button here. Hey, shit, that's that house that I sold last year that we couldn't, why the hell is it on the market? I just got a text from them 4 weeks ago. It's listed. You're not allowed to reach out. So I didn't reach out. I didn't reach out to a represented client, but somebody did somehow. Oh, we just thought it made more sense to go with the guy that was selling that house we saw. Fucking hate real estate.
They use your lender.
No, I don't. No, they didn't. They didn't. That realtor clearly was sharp enough to say, reach out to my lender. Maybe he can get it done. But how do we go? I just got emotional. I forgot why I told y'all that story. Oh, it was about like just sending them and driving them by. Yeah, it's like, and that happens to me all the time. I actually did better this time. Like I didn't have like a whole depression phase. Like they say, I had one last year with the one that I had listed at like 5 something, and then they were like, let's wait till next year. And then they called me like, hey, Ferris just knocked on our door. I was like, oh, well, go ahead and try it. And then he sold it and got him in the house that we were supposed to. Anyways, that one broke me down. So I think that helped me at this time. I was like, you know what, that hurts. But I'm all right. Let's go find the next one.
That other one, that the guy said, well, I'm going to go with blah, blah, blah. That was a buyer, right?
That was both sides.
Both sides.
A sell and a buy.
And you didn't have, of course, you had the seller, but even though they were going to buy, you had not gotten a buyer broker agreement.
I had a listing agreement. I didn't do a buyer broker. But it expired like months before that. There was nothing that.
There's nothing you could have done.
Nah.
Except
That's what I had to look at. Like, well, where did I go? And whoever reached out to them made them feel a little guilty. Because whoever reached out to, because it wasn't me, because they were under representation, so I didn't do it. But somebody reached out and said like, hey, could you, just for future reference so that I can do better with my business, so that he can do better with his business, what did he do wrong to where you decided to go with another? Oh my God, he didn't do anything wrong. It was great. We just thought it made more sense. And then wrote, like to kill 2 birds with 1 stone kind of deal. Nah, that's not how that works, man. But if it don't work out, hit me up. Anyways, so there's danger in saying just go on your own. So, but part of that is preparing your buyer with a script. Like, hey, when you go into these open houses, or if you're going to, look at some property, you end up looking inside, that agent is going to you know, ask you if you have an agent or ask you if you're represented. So what you do, I'm gonna give you like I'm gonna give you 4 of these. So when you go in, just say, hey, I'm working with Aaron. I know most of them anyways, they'll probably know me. So just say here, I'm working with Aaron, but I just wanted to come check out the house, right? And they're gonna say, yes, and we love them, so even if we didn't.
But it never hurts to ask.
Yeah, well, I mean, I asked, yeah. Or they walk in the open house like, oh, we have an agent. Oh, your agent didn't, they're not here with you? They're not showing you homes? Where's your agent? The hell kind of agent is that? Well, yeah. Okay, I guess. Take a look around.
I hope he or she's taking good care of you.
Yeah. Like they must have had you sign that little contract and now they're just doing whatever, huh? No, what contract? Oh, you didn't sign the contract? Great. Yeah, let me show you around.
And my open house, most people that come, they say they have an agent. But they are not coming with agent.
Yeah. At a certain point, like the market is good now, at a certain point, there's not going to be enough to go around. And you got to go like beast mode sometimes, savage mode. And like you might have to swipe. A lot of the time, okay, so here's the thing. A lot of times agents from the valley will be like, yeah, I'll represent you, but go look at homes. I'm not going to come out there. Go look at homes, and then when you find one, I'll write it up and I'll represent you. All right. So I'm like, I asked that question too. Where is your agent? Oh, they're down in the valley. What? Oh, and they're not willing to. This is your home you're purchasing. They're not willing to drive up here to show you homes. Anyways, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole while we're on camera. So I'm on 16 now. Show homes. Organization. Look at the showing instructions on the MLS. Everybody know where to find that? Okay, so we don't need to delve into that. Always call the listing agent to see if the home is available and if there have been any offers. If there have been any offers. There we go. So that makes sense. Everybody does that here?
Yes.
Just call, and then half of them have an attitude, and they don't want to tell you stuff. Right. They don't want to tell you how many offers or how much. Set the home tour date with your buyer. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. So why is it important to ask if the agent has any offers?
You need to know if you have competition. If you're going to be making an offer, and it informs your clients on, because I've had clients where they don't want to make an offer on a house and have to compete with other people. But, then I have to explain to them, well, in the market that we're in, most of the time it's a little quality.
Right. Hello?
Is it a full price or is it below full price?
Right.
Or
And then knowing your client too, because you'll have clients where they, like, a home isn't perfect for them, or they're not, and they're like, oh, if I can get a good deal on it, I'll take that one. And you're like, you're not getting a good deal on this one. I have 3 offers. I called already, right? And because some agents, not me, because I follow every single rule to a T by the book. So some agents leave properties active even when they're in escrow, so that it's active on the internet so they can get more leads. So that's another reason you got to call. And to find out if there's any issues with the property, right? Like if you're an agent and and the property's jacked up and you take pictures of jacked upness, right? It's going to look bad on the internet. It's not going to market well. So you just take a picture of the good stuff, or the outside, the front from a certain angle, right? It's good to call like, hey, anything going on with the property? Anything wrong with it? Any pluses, minuses, sold or paid for? What's going on? And just to build, connect with an agent, build a little rapport. Next bullet point, set the home tour date with your buyer with specific start and end time. Try to give 24-hour notice. Check with your buyer to make sure they have earnest money ready if necessary. If you're showing homes and you haven't verified earnest money and explained that, that's a whole nother problem. I'm saying this bullet point should not be way down there, right? When you pre-qualify your buyer and you initially meet with them, that's when you explain, hey, even if you're VA, even if you're getting down payment assistance, you still need to throw a deposit into escrow when we open it. So how much you got, right? typically in your price range, we see X amount of dollars as a deposit. Good with that? Okay, it goes towards your down payment. It goes towards your closing costs and escrow. But it's just an earnest money deposit, saying you're being earnest, whatever that means. So that bullet point needs to move way up to when you're pre-qualified. So preview the homes and eliminate any that do not meet their criteria. So for me, and I explain this to my buyers up front, like I've worked with enough, it didn't take long for me to work with buyers to figure out that they think they know what they want, but they don't really know what they want, right? Just like men, damn it. So they'll tell you, oh no, gotta have 5 bedrooms and a loft, right? And then all of a sudden they're like sending you 4-bedroom homes with no loft, and you're like, hey, you say, yeah, but in this neighborhood I would take a 4-bedroom with no loft, and you're like, shit. So I tell my buyer, and they're like, oh, I only want, you know, a 1/4-acre lot. I gotta have a huge lot, right? So anything 12,000 square feet and over, I'll take it, right? And I just tell them like, hey, I know you want 5 bedrooms and a loft, and you want a 1/4-acre lot, right? I'm gonna set the search up for like 4 bedrooms, maybe 3, certain square footage that you want. I'm gonna go a little bit above and below that, just because you never, and my verbiage is, I would rather send you properties that you don't want than not send you a property you may have wanted. So you're gonna get a bunch of stuff. Some of it you're not gonna like, it's not gonna fit, and you're gonna be like, man, Aaron doesn't listen to me. It's not that I don't listen to you. I just would rather you say no to a property than me say no to a property for you. Does that make sense? So when you're setting up that criteria and you're talking to them and you're asking them, just understand that 1, buyers are liars, and 2, they don't really know what they want. They think they know, but when the right property comes up, they're going to take it. Oh, there's no wall between the formal areas. They're not separate areas. It's one area. I don't want that. And then the right house comes up. They're like, oh no, we can live with it. So just give a little buffer room on all sides of what they describe as far as their home, right? What bullet point was that? So preview the homes, eliminate any that do not meet their needs. Prepare and educate yourself about the homes and demographics. Be the source of information. That's why daily 10-4, right? If you're going around and you're looking at homes all the time, you will have to do less work with each buyer because you'll be sort of familiar with each neighborhood, right? There are areas with like good neighborhoods adjacent to bad neighborhoods, right? Those are things that you need to know. So do your 10-4. I'm pushing the 10-4, Keller Williams. You hear me? There's pockets like that in every city in the world. All of them. Except Beverly Hills. But they have a hood area that they're like, yeah, that's not really Beverly Hills. That's Brentwood, man. That ain't Beverly Hills. So determine which route to take. Always show the best homes. Always show the best homes first. I don't know if I agree with that. Am I allowed to disagree?
No.
Yeah.
At least,
They say save the best for last.
the way I used to do it is, you show them the best, but not the best until the last one.
Yeah. And me, I'm not circling back around. So if we're going, it's not best to worst. We're going in order of shortest route, most efficient route, and we're getting the job done. So arrange to meet with your buyer at your office or in front of the first home you will be touring. I am very much an introvert, so I don't ever put anybody in my car. Meet you there. Like, I want to listen to my music and talk, and I don't text and drive, but if I did want to, I don't want my client looking at me like you're risking my life. See you there, buddy. Follow me over. You got your Google map? Okay. So determine which route, arrange to meet, print out 2 detailed MLS information sheets for each property you plan to tour with your buyer. That's great. Most people use their phones. I used to do that, and then I would give them a pen or whatever, and then on the back they could take notes. After you look at a certain amount of properties, they like all start turning into one damn house, and they're like, "Was that the one with that 60s green toilet in the bathroom? No, that was the other one, wasn't it? I don't know, was it?" No. Before we leave, take a minute in the car before you pull off and take notes on the house. I'll meet you at the next one.
Well, you also want them to put down what they thought of the house, so they go back and look at them.
Yeah.
They remember, oh yeah, this one we didn't like because of this, and
Yeah.
this one we did like.
Exactly. Exactly. So
So you said you still do that? You get the print out or you don't do that anymore?
I just tell them to take notes, because most of them have it like, I mean, you see it with your buyers. They're like, "Oh, what was the next one?" Like, so the paper is like, I'm going to be green, efficient. It's good for the environment. Take notes in your phone. But it's good to print it out and have them take notes there.
I always print them out and then just tell them, okay, get a pen and then write and you can rate it from 1 to 10.
Mhm.
And write your notes. This one needs new carpet, new paint, because you're going to be overwhelmed with all these homes at the end.
Exactly. So place the MLS information sheet in order of how you're going to tour the homes. Make a copy of 5 must-have sheets. So the 5 must-haves. Those are good to do like at the initial buyer consultation. Like if it's a couple, give the husband one, the wife, hey, don't talk to each other right now, don't share, don't cheat. Eyes on your own paper. What are the top 5 things you got to have in the house? Right? And then when they do that, then you can match them up and say, okay, you both said this, you both said this, but he's saying this, she's saying this, and then you can kind of figure out, all right, these are what's most important. Then when you're touring the homes, you can refer back to those items and say, well, you said this was more important than this. Having a big family room was more important than having large bedrooms, right? So that's what you said. This one, matches that. The bedrooms aren't huge, but the family room is. Let's do it, right? And then the wife always wins, so you just roll with that. Happy wife, happy life. What did she say, man? I'm not getting in it. Or you can play both sides, like, hey, man, I know she's talking. When you get home, you're going to be the man. Okay, I know. Don't put your foot down here, but when you get home, put your foot down. Tell her you want the backyard. I told him not to say nothing about the backyard, but he didn't listen to me. So, 17, help buyers view homes. If their dislikes are things like the yard size or structure, blah, blah, blah. When it comes to things like wall color or lack of landscaping, discuss the easy, low-cost solutions, right? Some things you can't change in the property, right? Like location, right? You can add on, you can knock stuff down, you can paint it, you can change it, right? Some things are expensive, some things are less expensive. So those are discussions. That's what you have to make them realize. Like, oh my God, the house is so ugly. Did you see the paint? The paint will go away. Focus on the bones, right? Focus on the layout of the house. When it comes to the things like, oh, I said that one already, have your buyers use the home tour checklist to guide them as to what to look at in the homes. So you should use, so the checklist is on the next page. Check that out. Page 18. Home tour checklist. So instead of just telling them to take notes, you can give them a home tour checklist for every single property. There you go, kill more trees. So they can make comments about whether there's a view, the lot size, the landscaping, square footage, all of the things that matter to them. You can read, so I won't read the checklist to you. Touring the home. may want to exchange opinions on their own. Be sure to give them some private time. Oh, that's interesting. This is not our subject. I'm going to go off subject real quick. So on the side it says, hey, instructor, tell them that couples may want to exchange opinions on their own. Be sure to give them some private time by stepping outside or into another part of the home. Also point out that you are stressing benefits, not features, throughout the home tour.
Sounds like lower than
Don't Vanna White the house. Let the buyers make comments. Don't Vanna White the house. How do you show homes? Let's start here and we'll walk across it. What's your home showing technique?
Well, first I information and then share with the buyer. We go to the home. I tell them, okay, so yeah, it says it's bigger than whatever.
So let's go to the point you unlock the door. What happens after that? You unlock it, you open it, then what?
I let them in first, and I turn on the kitchen, and I see the reaction to the house when they look at it. So I can see they get excited, or maybe they're not. So from there, I know what to tell them. Okay, yeah, this has this, and look at this backyard, or this is what you were looking for. So if they're excited, so I show them and enhance more what the house has.
Okay.
So, we can talk about maybe writing an offer.
Okay. And yourself?
Well, when we get in front of the house, then I told them this one house is the one that has this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms, open concept, blah, blah, and
So you do
yes, they
tell
can-
them what you're going to show them and show them what you're going to tell them and then tell them what you told them.
So then, I just give them just a brief information about the house.
Oh, okay.
And I open the door and, now I make sure that the house, all the lights are on.
You say you make sure that all of them are on?
They're all on.
So you
they
get there
can see
first?
How bright it is. If I get there first, I'll open the door and I'll go in and turn the lights on.
If you get there at the same time, you just open the door and run through like, okay.
As we go along, we'll do that, but if I get there, I will turn the lights on.
Okay.
And make sure and open the doors and,
Okay, so, I usually meet them here at the office, and the conference room, I show them all the properties are within their price range, and their criteria, and then I tell them to pick 6 houses.
Okay.
And, they pick the houses and I'll put them in order, and, I call if there's, any offers on them while they're looking after we're there. So I put them in order, say Lancaster and then Palmdale, and then while I get there, I open the home, I turn on lights, ceiling fans, I call out any stuff that they may not see, like surround sound system or extra features that the home may have. And while they're in the rooms and stuff, I call or text the agent, are there any offers on this property? And write notes about it on my paper and come back and see which one they want to put an offer on. And when they ask me, okay, we want to put.
Oh, so they're stuck with you. They got to come back and you like, oh, what are we writing on the way
Yeah.
back? When we get there, what are we writing up?
Right. Yes.
That's fine. Generally, whether, depending on how I'm communicating with them, I'll email them properties that I feel that they would like, or text, use the application, or both. And before viewing the properties, I'll call the agent.
Let's go to the point where you unlock the door and you open it.
Oh,
Like, what's your
okay. So I bring
technique
them-
from there?
I bring them in, I have, the information, on the property, how many bedrooms it has. I'll take them through and show them walk them through towards the kitchen, I'll walk them through the upstairs, pointing out different features, kind of what she does. Asking them questions on what they think about certain features. How do you guys like the flooring? How do you guys like the paint or things like that? How is this when we get, like, if we're showing, like, normally it's multiple houses, how does this house compare to the last house we saw? What points of this house do you like better than the last house, and which ones don't you like? Things like that, and then that way it'll help fine tune us and let them come to their own conclusion on
Nice.
which one was the best house.
Good, good.
I
So,
forgot to say, I also tell them, can you visualize your furniture here, yourself here?
That's a good question.
see, that's why you're such a great agent. So much better of an agent than me. So, Doreen Horton, she's like my second mom now. She worked with me at Remax. She's an agent. She told me, you show homes like a man. Because I'm like, right? I'm not an excitable person. Like I don't know who did it to me, but it's like my whole life. And then I made a kid who's just like me. So now I can see what it looks like from the outside. I never saw it before I had her. Like I'm talking about like 2, 3, 4 years old. Christmas, you get her exactly what she wants. She's like, oh, thank you. I'm like, shit, did she not want that? No. No, this is what I wanted, thank you. And I'm like, shit, oh, that's me. Because like I get exactly what I want. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks. All right. So I show homes like that. So Doreen goes in houses and she's like, oh my God, look at the closet. Do you see how big the closet is? Oh my God, you could put everything in here. Like everything fits in. Guys, come here. Come here, look at the bathroom. Look at the countertops in the bathroom. And I'm like, I could never do, I would be so worn out and like that's not, I don't have that in me. So like I do point out things, but I'm not gonna go, this is the formal dining and living, like, you know that? Unless they say like, what the hell is this area used for? Oh, this is kind of like a den area, library maybe, something like that. But I'm not like, yeah, I'm not, yeah. I don't know what the hell I would do with it. I'll just probably watch football in here. I don't know. I put my football equipment on the floor, and then that's what I would use this room for. But I don't, maybe I just got to find a way to fake it. But because you got to create that excitement. I didn't do that when I sold cars either. I was kind of like, yo, you like the car? No? All right, well, let's find another. You're going to leave? All right, I'll see you later. I was never like, oh, they used to be like, oh, okay, so when you do the walk around, you open the front door, you open the hood, you show them that they have breakaway engine mounts so that if they're ever in an accident, it breaks down to the ground, not into their feet and break their ankles. And it also has variable valve timing, which means that they can, like, I'm like, yo, pop the hood, like, y'all don't know none of this stuff in here. There's the engine, cool. All right, let's get in. You want to drive it? You don't like it? No? I'm not going to, like, convince you to, like, you know what I mean? So, same way I show homes, like, we're going to walk through together. If you have a question, I'll answer. But you know if you like this home or not. Like, so, like, okay, you like that? Oh, did you see this? I will do that. Oh, did you notice this? And sometimes they see more stuff than me, and they're like, hey, I saw over here that I'm like, oh, man, that's pretty cool. So we writing an offer? But I can't, like, I would be a much better agent if I could go in there and like, oh, my God, did you see this? I love these countertops. I'll say, oh, my, those are really nice. That's really nice. But I can't, like, yeah, I'm just not that guy. They're like, but I don't get too high or too low either, and it's like I don't get nervous, so it's like I'm just cruising. And they're like, all right, you want to cruise on back to the office and write an offer? No, all right, we'll find you some more. But
David and Laura's dream home, that he goes in and he leads them.
yeah, see, and TV messes it up for us, right?
Yeah.
Because they think that like real estate really works like on TV. Like, oh, we're going to look at 3 homes. I'm going to choose which one I like the most. We're going to put an offer in. We're going to get it. And then escrow closes the next day, it looks like on TV. And then they, like.
I literally just had a conversation. She's like, my goal is when I buy a house, I want to be in there the next week. And I'm like, sometimes it takes 30 days. She's like, well, and she's like, well, and I was like, especially with the loan and things like that. She said, well, I'm a cash buyer. Well, with cash buying, you can close more quickly, but the odds of being there in 7 days is very unlikely. Well, I had somebody that closed in 10 days. Everything's possible.
Right.
But I like to prepare my plans for the other possible.
Look, she didn't like the way I show home, so she's leaving. Like, page 19, touring the home, says ring the doorbell, even if it says it's vacant. I do that every time. I make sure nobody's home, even though when they say, unless it's like empty, but if they say like, oh no, the seller won't be there, just use the lockbox. I'm like, ding dong. Nobody's gonna shoot me when I walk in. Yeah, yep. Record your own comments. Yes, we talked about that. Have your buyer give a descriptive names to help them visualize. Give nicknames to the house. That's cute. Okay, while touring properties, avoid making comments. Let your buyers come to their own conclusions. That I do very well. That part I do very well. Like, yeah, unless it's like, oh my God, that color's so ugly. Remember, you can paint. You can always get rid of the carpet. Remember, you can always get rid of, you know. I just remind them of the, like, when you own it, you do what you want with it. So if you don't like the carpet, don't not buy it because of the carpet. Buy some new carpet. Buy some paint. Like, get rid of these countertops if you don't like them. Don't let something like that, like everything else, the most important thing I always tell them is like the layout of the home. More important than that, location. You can't pick the house up and put it somewhere else. So the location most important, the layout of the home, right? That's a little more expensive to change. You can, but it's more expensive to change. But the little stuff, try not to let that stop them from buying the right home. And that's our job, is to kind of bring our expertise in that, to say, okay, I get that you don't like the flooring in one room, right? But you like the layout. The layout is perfect for you. It's got the master over here, the other bedroom. It's got the law. It's got the X, Y, and Z. You can always change, right? But it also works the other way. Like, hey, I know you like all the bells and whistles and the glitter in this house. Like, you like the countertops and the paint color, but it doesn't have the layout that you want. Like, there's not a family room open to you. You said that your family comes over every single weekend, and you're going to be upset with me if you buy this house and the family room's way over here, the kitchen's way over there. You can't communicate like you said you do every week, right? So don't fall for the flashy stuff. Make sure that the layout works for you too. All right. Your job is to keep them cool and calm and shine light on things throughout the whole transaction, even when you're showing like, hey, you're looking at the wrong things. So help buyers identify their perfect home by pointing out benefits, not features. For example, if it has new windows, point out the benefit, not the fact that they are new. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, 6. Have the buyers rank the houses. We talked about ranking the houses. Finally, ask your buyers, do you see yourself living here? Why or why not? Those are very important. So, one thing that selling cars taught me was objection handling and like digging deeper to find out the true objection, right? So if they're saying they don't want to buy a certain house, you ask them why. Oh, because the other bedrooms weren't big enough. Well, why are the other bedrooms being big important to you? Well, the kids would have more room, so are they in their room much? Or no, we spend a lot of time in the family, so how many people are in the bedroom at one time? like why and why not? Like, why is this important to you? Figure out what the true objection is and the true issue is, but also why they really want a certain feature. Like, why is it important that the kitchen is open to the family room? Why is that important to you? I don't know. I heard it on TV. But you said that you guys don't spend much time in those areas. I know, but on TV they said, so you don't really care. Right? So asking solid questions and why not is important. Page 20, home touring etiquette. Leave the home as you found it. That's important. Be sure to look and observe all touring notes in the MLS so you don't let the dog or the cat out. Be mindful of pets. Oh, look at that. Opening exterior doors. Leave a card on the countertop to let the seller know you were there and that you're not a thief and that you're a realtor. Make sure to secure and lock the house when you leave. Everybody watching online, keep your damn family together. Keep the kids with the parents. And don't let people just run all over the place in the house, because you never know who's got sticky fingers.
I had a house, when I was doing the REOs, I had a house up around 70th Street, somewhere up there, and it was empty. It was boom. And I have this couple that comes in with the agent, and the couple had a child. And so, and I was there when they came in. And so they were looking around, and the kid was pretty active. And I was looking at the agent, you know, but I was trying to address the kid also to make sure. Well, to make the story short, they went upstairs, and all of a sudden the kid comes downstairs, and of course the double door to the patio was still closed. So, because I wasn't going to open it, I was going to let the agent open it. And so the kid comes in running, runs into the sliding door, broke it.
Yeah.
Luckily, he didn't get hurt.
Oh, maybe.
It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday.
Breaking your back?
Maybe his little ass needed to get hurt.
Oh,
So you guys making an offer around the house, or?
I don't remember exactly what made the offer, but I
No, that's important, and it's a tough, like as the listing agent or as a seller, like at an open house and things, like it's tough to be like, yo, like can you go tell your client to get their kids, like, I mean, I'm kind of blunt enough to say it, but it's like I give them the look, like,
yeah. Fortunately, I was able to find a friend of mine who's a contractor. I called him, and within the hour, he was there with his people.
but it's that, and then when the sellers are home too, it's uncomfortable to see like a family come in and then they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Like one's here, one's up there, one's up. So you're like, why are you?
All in one place.
Yeah, just tour. So it's, hey, when we get in here, we're gonna stick together and we'll tour the home together, each room together. But let's just, for the seller, for the other agent, we're gonna stick together as we go through this home.
Luckily, the kid was called. My God, when I saw that sliding door come down,
So page 21, your turn. What are the benefits? Work with a partner. Use the charts below to list 3 common home features you might want a buyer to notice. Let's do it as a group. There's not a lot of us. List the benefits of that feature, then called upon, stand up and read. No, we won't do that part. So what features are important? What's one feature that may be important to a buyer?
open concept.
Open concept, boom. We'll take that. So what's the benefit of an open concept?
The family will be able to gather in one place, and they'll be able to see each other, and particularly they're entertainers.
Turnkey, that's a feature. What's the benefit of that?
They don't want to have, they're not going to have to fix anything, they're not going to have to replace, the idea is that they want something you can walk into, so.
Put your furniture down and live. Yeah. One more feature that would be important.
Big backyard, maybe they have kids that they use the backyard.
Kids go outside still?
They're-
These damn kids don't go outside anymore.
Can you get them to go there?
No, I did it. The house I have on Dania we're actually closing on Friday, was kind of a bigger backyard, all grass, but there was no patio cover. There was, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I actually took my daughter's soccer goals over there in the soccer ball and I set them up so that you can, like, if you look back there, you see like, oh, space to play, grass, like that's what you can do with this backyard. So I wanted to take like the focus off of no cover patio, no patio at all, right? I actually got to go pick her stuff up today. Yeah. So we won't do ahas for that exercise, but page 22, recognizing buyer's signals as you tour a home. This just means pay attention to your buyer. Pay attention to their body language, asking detailed questions, visualizing furniture placement. Your clients will tell you what's important to them without you even asking when you show them homes. So it's just really just paying attention to what they're saying and what they tell you throughout the process. You don't necessarily have to say, hey, what's important to you in a home? When you open a home up to them, they're going to tell you everything you need to know, right? They'll look at the kitchen like, oh, I can't cook in here. It's too small. Okay, they would like a bigger kitchen. got it. Just like I say in every session of Ignite Real Estate, it's like dating, right? Just pay attention to the other person. They will tell you everything. If you do something they don't like, if you look at their face, they'll tell you that they don't like it. Same with your buyers. They'll tell you, like, I don't like this. You just pay attention. 23, common objections. These are scripts. We love it, but we haven't seen enough properties yet. The other one, we really want a formal dining room. The next one, we don't like the carpet paint or landscaping. So just earmark this page so that you can go back and read it.
And probably even though you have questioned the buyers before, and they told you what was important to them, all of a sudden when you go in and see the house, they say, oh, but this one doesn't have, and you go, oh, okay.
It goes back to what we said earlier. They don't know what the hell they want. They think they know, but they don't really know. Sometimes you got to know for them.
This one has this and that. Oh, I didn't know that they were.
Right. Exactly. So page 24, bring your buyers to a decision. Talk about how you bring buyers to a decision. How do we bring buyers to a decision? A lot of it is setting their expectations up front. A lot of people some people expect to view 3 homes, pick one, love all 3, have a hard time deciding which one they love the most, that they're going to write an offer and then it's going to get accepted the first time they write an offer. They're going to jump in the escrow. It's going to be smooth. And then 30 days later, they move in and they own the home and they live there with their family. Everybody's happy. And that's the buying a home process.
Why not make an offer on all 3?
Well, because that's not what TV says. TV says you look at 3, you write an offer on the one you like the most, and you get it. That's what TV says.
No,
So
it would be like investors if they do place an offer of more than one house.
not necessarily. No. Especially in markets where inventory is tight. You got to just put a bunch out. Multiple offers everywhere, you got to put a bunch of offers out there. But going back to in terms of bringing them to a decision, that starts with setting their expectations day one. And saying, hey, you're not going to. I always tell them, unless you get a house built, ground up yourself, it won't be perfect, right? We just have to find the one that's close enough to it that you're good, that you're happy, and changing their perspective of like, hey, what you see on TV is not real. We're probably going to look at maybe 6 to 10 homes, and you might put an offer on the property and not get it. The property you like the most, other people are going to like the most as well, and you may not get it. And then we'll just move forward. And then some clients have to learn. Like you have to they're going to say, you know what, let's put an offer in. I know there's 3 offers. Let's put an offer in $5,000 below list price. I want to get a deal. And you may lose them if you say, no, I'm not doing that. All right, we'll do it. But if it doesn't work, and it won't work because they have multiple offers, but if it doesn't work the next time, they'll be more willing to listen to your advice, your direction on it. In terms of bringing them to a decision, it's really, for me, it's just that, setting their expectations, letting them know this is what the process actually looks like. And then when we put an offer, if there's multiple offers, we may have to come in higher. If there's no offers, that's my favorite part. I want to get you the best deal possible. So when you find the home that you can live with, if we have leverage or we don't have leverage in negotiating, we'll write the offer accordingly. And then we'll push from there. You can't make somebody buy. You're going to have a client one day and they're just going to keep saying, no, not this one. No, not this one. House 57. No, not this one either. Right? You're like, you know what, you're fired. I'm not showing you anything else.
And then you'll get to the house 57, and they're like, we really like the third one. We were talking about it. Well, that was not on the market anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So 25, the decision-making process. Rank the property. Ask if they want to buy it. Take the highest scoring home. That seems like a hell of a process here. So
There's only 2 top ranking homes.
yeah, and then take the highest scoring home. So you're asking them to score homes. They're gonna. I feel like this just doesn't take a genius to make something complicated. It takes a genius to make a complicated thing simple. This is complicated. That pros and cons list, that is something that the Benjamin Franklin close, you know, you write the pros and cons of each one and see which one weighs out the best. So that's a good close for indecisive buyer. And then ask them to make an offer. Creating urgency. Let's see. Oh, there's no link. There's no link. Okay. If you want, there's a video called Create Buyer Urgency, and you can find it on KW Connect. I don't want it. Yeah. That's creating urgency is just explaining to a buyer what's going on in the market. And they have to experience it for themselves a lot of the times. They have to miss out on a home sometimes for them to say, oh, you know what, maybe we shouldn't be dragging our feet out here. They got to miss out on a home that they really like you said. Oh, we want to go back to home number 3. Number 3 is closing escrow tomorrow, sir. Like, it's been 45 days. Then they're like, oh, shoot. So I really can't bull crap, right? Drag my feet? No, I tried. Remember, I told you. So what? No offers. What is this? If a buyer do not want to make an offer, properties you show, make sure you understand why that's going to happen. Read the scripts to the class. I will read this script to you because it says it in red to me. Setting the next appointment. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, before we part company, see, this is where you internalize the script, because I would never say to somebody, before we part company. That doesn't sound like me. But I'll say it because it's on the paper. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, before we part company, let's get out our calendars and set up our next meeting to look for that home you want to buy. If nothing worth seeing has hit the market by Friday, I will call you and we'll reschedule for next Saturday. Amazing script. Okay, next, overcoming buyer reluctance. Once you have seen the best houses that meet the buyer's criteria, you may have to help your buyer overcome buyer reluctance. It's a common issue many people experience when they are suddenly faced with the reality of making an offer for one of the greatest financial investments of their lives. Your job is not to try to sell your buyers a home that isn't right for them. But it is your job to help them recognize when a home fits their needs, wants, and values. All right? They do this every 7 to 9 years, right? So it's not, like for us, it's not stressful. We do it all the time, right? But for them, it's going to be stressful. And there'll be some reluctance. They'll be scared to pull the trigger. So you got more scripts on 28. What if the price drops? We want to sleep on it. And there's another one on 29, getting to the bottom line with your buyers. You want to read that on your own time? Okay, earmark page 28, because those are common objections that you're going to get, and you're going to need to have a script, right, to overcome that objection. Getting to the bottom line. You can step into a higher price point. You can adjust your expectations. So this is good because I'm looking on 29 now, regrouping and rethinking and basically re-strategizing, right, with the buyer. So if you go and you show them a bunch of properties, none of them fit, it's kind of like a reality check. That's another thing with your buyers. You're going to have to bring them all to reality, right? What you can afford payment-wise a month only gets you a certain amount of loan. Like, sorry, unless you're bringing more money down or anything like that, the money is what it is. Reality check number 1. Oh, $2,000 a month only gets me $300,000 home? Oh, shoot. I thought houses were free in the Antelope Valley. All right?
You wanted to wait.
Reality check number 1. right? Reality check number 2, like what does a home in my price range actually look like? All right. So this is where you've shown them some homes, they didn't pull the trigger on any. Now you need to regroup and rethink that script. So getting to the bottom line with your buyers. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, what are you looking for? What you're looking for doesn't exist. So we have to make a decision, right? You can step into a higher price point. You can adjust your expectations, or you can step away from the home buying process for a year and see what happens. All right. What's the best course of action for you? So that's a way to say, listen, you can't afford anymore. Like most buyers like to get approved and they're like, all right, I want the max. You very rarely find a buyer that says, you know what? I got approved for $500,000, but I only want to purchase at $400,000. They're like, oh, $500,000? Let's see if we can push it to $510,000, right? Everybody wants to go with max. So then you say, hey, you didn't like any of those? Then we can buy a more expensive house, pay more money. Oh, I can't afford more. Oh, interesting. Well, our other option is to adjust your expectations. We may make an adjustment to your expectations. The price point is what it is. The market says the amount you can afford gets you this type of house. It is what it is. So if you're not going to take what type of house you can buy, step away from the market and try again next year. And more than likely, homes will be approximately 4% more expensive, and you'll get even less. So from there, page 30, your turn, buyer objections with a partner. Script practice. Have participants break into groups of 2. There's only 3 of us. So we'll get to 31. Customer experience focus. Oh, this is good. This should be good stuff here. Keeping your buyers focused on their objective. What else would be helpful to have to ensure your buyers have an exceptional experience? How can you make the buying process an exceptional experience for your clients?
Setting the expectations from the beginning.
Okay.
Explaining the process.
Okay.
Especially when you're doing everything you can to make it as smooth as possible.
Okay.
And they need to follow your instructions.
So this is saying here's some items to take, right? So paperwork, the list of their needs and wants, any contracts and MLS sheets, a map, as if you don't have one on your phone, a first aid kit. Where the hell are these people showing homes? A flashlight in case it gets dark. A tape measure is good to have. I just bought one to put it in my trunk. I had one that would go like in my trunk and out of my trunk and in the house, and when you need it, you don't have it. So I just bought one permanently for my trunk. Digital camera. Ooh, how old is this? Paper goods. How about you bring a laptop instead of paperwork, and then you can write a contract up on the spot. Your map is on your phone. Be safe when you show homes, so first aid kit, okay. Your flashlight is on your phone. Tape measure in the trunk. Your camera's in your phone. Paper goods, tissues, and toilet paper. Okay. Office supplies, pens, pencils, notepads, tape, and a stapler. Don't know why you would need a stapler. Umbrellas. It rains twice a year out here. Beverages and snacks. That's good to have, especially if there's kids. And entertainment for kids. Coloring books. All of that stuff. No, now they're.
Take them in the van.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, right.
So, showing homes. Instructor, ask for 2 volunteers, one to act as agent and the other to act as the buyer. Both volunteers will have the 5 must-haves shown list during the mock tour. Ask the rest of the class to observe and jot down feedback. Who wants to volunteer to tour a home? Oh, she just volunteered you.
I can go.
Me? What happened? I'm touring home. Let's do it.
So, I need one agent and one buyer,
I'll be the buyer.
which means, sir, you're the agent. Okay, so we're going to the 5 must-haves according to page 32. Large eat-in chef-inspired kitchen. Number 2 is a room for an office. Number 3 is a 3-car garage. Number 4 is a large yard. And 5 says it's move-in ready. It's not going to take 20 minutes. Let's make this a little more fun. Let's say that it has a not quite large eat-in chef-inspired kitchen, right? Does have a room for an office, does have a 3-car garage, has a pretty big yard, but it's not huge, and it's close to move-in ready. Could use some paint, could use some carpet, but other than that, everything is good. So, let's put you out here. Come on, buyer and agent. I'm the homeowner. I'll let you in. This is 1234 Main Street.
I don't understand what I'm doing.
You're the agent. You're going to show her this home.
Oh, okay. And what's my goal? To sell it to her?
We're gonna show that.
Just show it.
Okay.
Just show it. Hello.
Hello. Hi, I'm Nico Estrada with Keller Williams
Oh,
Realty.
okay.
I'm showing your home today?
Okay, perfect. You got a card? They said you would always
Yeah,
bring it.
absolutely. It's in here somewhere. Here you go.
All right, thanks.
Awesome. So what can you tell us about your home?
We did a lot of pretty good upgrades. I mean, we got rid of all the tile countertops, put some granite in.
Okay.
Didn't do a huge amount of upgrades. We do have 2 kids.
Okay.
So.
And how long have you guys
nothing-
lived here?
About 6 years.
Okay.
6 years, yeah. So we did a lot to the backyard. Nothing expensive, but it works
Something.
for the kids. They can go back there and play. Other than that, I don't know. Just let me know if you have any questions.
Man, mind if we walk around?
No, go ahead.
Thank you. All right. So right here we have the kitchen. Thank you. We have the kitchen. And it leads into a nice living room. See if I can-
The kitchen is that big.
No, it's not. But it is nice. And I mean, like you said, you did do some of the tile work. And
It's open, so I like that part.
yeah, it is open. There's definitely some room to cook a little bit. And so it's really nice. And it looks like right over here, just past the living room, we have an office space. Something where you put your desk up. You have, maybe some chairs, a bookshelf in there. So it looks pretty nice for there. Let's go over here and see what this door is. Okay, so this is the garage here.
Okay, 2-car garage.
Yeah, it's 2 cars.
It's a 3-car with a tandem. Sorry.
3-car with a
Yeah,
tandem.
if you look, it's
On the other side?
yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
So right on the inside over here, okay, so right when we go through there, you can see the tandem. And yeah, I mean, it's nice. So it didn't have the 3-car garage, we were looking for that.
And the backyard.
Yeah, the backyard, you said you've done some work. Let's go take a look. So with the backyard, it looks nice. It's got set up, and there's definitely some areas over here too that, you were mentioning that you wanted a garden and things like that. So
Yeah, I was looking for something larger, but this is a decent size of backyard.
yeah, and he has kids. He said his kids play back here, so I mean, they seem to be happy with that. You have your dog as well, right?
Yeah.
So there could be enough space for that. What are you thinking about the house so far? How are you feeling?
Well, I think it's in a really, it's a good condition, but I think I will do some changes. For
Okay.
example, so the walls are painted in not my taste of color, but I think I can change that.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good mentality to have. I mean, you know, none of the stuff in the house is necessarily married to the house. So if you want to change the colors, the walls, or change the carpet, or something like that, it's always a good mentality to have, because at that point, then you have some room for growth and making it actually yours.
Yeah, and do you think the homeowner will change the appliances because the appliances look a little old?
I mean, that's definitely something that we can ask. But let me ask you a question. Would you rather have the homeowner pick out the appliances for you, or would that be something that you would want to go pick out on your own?
Oh, I would love to.
Okay. Okay, so then that's something that maybe to think about. If you are going to get rid of those anyways, then we can start with your own fresh product. Cleaners, what do they call them? Washing machines. Appliances that you would want for yourself.
That'd be great. You think the homeowner will give me credit for that?
I mean, it never hurts to ask. So it's a mentality that I use. We can always ask to see what they're willing to do. I mean, it does say that it's coming with the appliances, but normally with things like that, it's a little harder to bargain for.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Is there anything else that you wanted to see in the house?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, so this had, I know it didn't have the large eat-in kitchen that you were looking for, but what were some other things that you really liked?
I do like the office.
Mhm.
I do like the location of the home. This is the perfect neighborhood that I want. And the house is in decent condition,
Mhm.
I think. Yeah, that's what I like. From all the homes that I have seen, I think this is good, better.
Okay. Well, why don't we go back to the office and talk a little bit more about it? Do you feel like this house is the house that you'd like to make an offer on?
Yeah, I could. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to the office and write one up.
All right.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Good job. So let me ask you this. Did some of the material we went over today change the conversation a little bit that you had with her as a buyer?
Yeah, so I briefly read over one of the scripts that I think we skipped over a little bit, and it had to do with, good thing I earmarked it like you asked me to. It had to do with the Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. Remember our first meeting when we talked about the 5 must-haves, and he's mentioned that somebody had mentioned that it didn't have a formal dining room, but that wasn't in. It wasn't in their 5 must-haves.
Mm-hmm.
But that mentality of, okay, well, this didn't have one of those things that we were looking for,
Right.
but what were some of the other things that you would like adding on to? Okay, it didn't have one of your must-haves, but you liked all these other
Right.
things. So I think that was kind of an aha for me.
And I know we didn't have the details on it for this exercise, but it's important. This is why it's important to call the agent beforehand.
Mhm.
So when you get to this point in the conversation and your buyer's like, you know what, the appliances, I'm not really happy with them, right? If you know that the property's been on the market for 35 days, they have no offers, then you're in a position to say, you know what, they don't have any offers on the property, and look, it's been on the market for 35 days.
Mhm.
We can ask. You know, we can make a very aggressive offer here. What if instead of having them replace it, we just write into the contract that, you know, let's say it's going to cost $2,000. What if we write into the contract that they pay $3,000 towards your closing costs? That way, you don't have to put it towards your loan. You can use that $3,000 towards some new appliances. That way, you get to pick them out, right? And they're not picking them for you.
Yeah.
And then carpet and paint. Okay, carpet and paint, great. If we can get the house for, I know it's listed at $395, right? Carpet and paint maybe cost you $15,000 or so. Well, we see if we can get it at $380. Would that make sense for you? Or would you rather pay $395 and ask them to, you know, give you 3%, right? Or do a repair credit or anything like that. So it's important to know whether or not you have leverage. Because if it's been on the market for 3 days and they have 4 offers, that's a completely different conversation. like, hey, listen, this house has a lot of attention and there's a lot of demand for it, they've already got offers. So if we come in and we say, hey, you know, we want new appliances, we want money for this and that, we're not going to get the house. Is it more important for you? Is $2,000 worth of appliances worth you losing this house? No, it's not.
Yeah, I think I was going from the
Yeah,
approach.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. We didn't have that many details in the exercise.
We need to leverage.
Yeah. You always have to know whether or not you have the leverage. Who has the leverage in this negotiation? So putting it all together, action plan, prepare for your next class, and recall and remember your action plan. Complete your daily 10 to 4, enter your numbers, continue to preview, practice your scripts. That's the most important thing on this list. And complete your mission for the next class. Your mission for the next class says, do all the same things you always do and grow your database. Bring your prepared contact list and your laptop tablet to the next class. All good? Questions, concerns, feedback?
No, it's been wonderful. A lot of discoveries.
Good.
What,
Good.
so I've had multiple issues with buyers,
Buyers are issues all the time.
Where it comes down to getting them into a property in a timely manner. Do you have some more tips?
As far as showing them or getting them,
Yeah.
so scheduling the showing?
Well, I have the showings, right, but we're looking at 58 houses, 5 at a time every weekend or twice a weekend or whatever this is.
Hell no. You have to tell them it's a trust thing. So one, you have to build rapport, right? Get them to trust you. But I'll say that at the end. But so build the rapport. It show them that you're a professional, right? Understand they don't know the amount of business you do, right? So when you say I'm a real estate agent, I do this every day, they have no choice but to believe. They don't know if you show homes every day, right? So the thing is, okay, listen, I need you to understand that this is what I do. I mean, for me, I can say I've been doing it a long time, but this is what I do every single day. And for you to go out and look at tens of homes at a time, it actually does you a disservice, and it's a waste of your time and gets you further away from purchasing a home. Your ultimate goal is to own a home, right? And to move in, buy it, move in, and live there, right? You've seen the direction of the market. The longer we take to get you in a home, the more you're going to pay for it, right? So for us to look at 10, 20, 30 homes, that's just going to confuse you because there's only a certain amount of floor plans out there. Like, do they have a formal dining room or not, right? Is it 3 bedrooms or 4? Is there a loft, right? So the more important thing is let's sit down and identify what's most important to you, what you're willing to bend on a little bit, and what is a must-have, right? So let's talk about what are the must-haves for you. Like the one home we looked at, it didn't have a huge backyard. Is that a must-have for you, or is that something that you would like to have, but it doesn't necessarily have to be there? For you, Mr. Buyer.
Yeah.
Nico, is it?
Nico, you know what? I have a husky, and I definitely need a decent sized backyard for him to run around. He's extremely active.
Okay, so that last home we looked at, that backyard was big enough or it wasn't?
Yeah, it definitely had some room. It had enough room. I mean, I would like it to be a little bit bigger.
But that what you would say is like the smallest you would go?
Yeah.
Okay, so from here on out, it's safe to say we'll eliminate any homes that have a backyard smaller than that?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So the 4 bedrooms, is that a must-have? Would you make it with 3, or do you have to have the 4th bedroom?
Yeah, I can make it with 3. I wanted the 4th bedroom for my grandmother who comes, or my mother who comes and stays, and just as a guest room. But I mean, there's only 3 of us, so or there's only 4 of us in the house. So it's me, my wife, and my 2 kids.
Okay, so the kids can share a room if grandma comes into town.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I can still send you 3-bedroom homes.
That's fine.
Okay. And then the formal areas, do you guys use those, or is that just a room you walk past every day?
For the most part, we use it, we try to at least have family dinner at least once a week, so.
Oh, so that's a must-have. You got to have that. Okay, safe to say I can cut out any homes that don't have the formal dining room for you. Okay, perfect. So that's going to narrow our window down. The locations, certain neighborhoods. We've seen a couple of homes, and you've said, no, I don't like that neighborhood, right? So safe to say I can cut that neighborhood out from showing you any of those other homes?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to leave us probably, ideally, like 3 to 6 homes that fit your criteria. From that, you're not going to find a perfect house. I hate to be the one to break it to you, right? But unless you build it, it won't be perfect, right? So we got to kind of see, of these 6 homes, let's just compare those and see what the best 2 or 3 are, and then from there we just make progress in writing an offer. If we find a home that has the backyard, that has the 3 bedrooms, maybe 4, has the formal, and is in a good neighborhood, are you willing to write an offer, or is there something else that would kind of hold you up?
I mean, we're not in a total rush. I mean, how often are your homes being put on the market?
Every single day. Every single day, but the amount of homes that are going to fit your criteria, that's a different number. You know, and we'll kind of get an idea of that over the next couple of weeks here. I would venture to say, when's your ideal date? Ideally, you and your wife, if you could say, this is the date I want to move into a new home, what's that date?
It would be nice to move in by June.
By June? Okay, which means we need to be in escrow by mid-May, right, middle of May. So we do have a little bit of time. If we can get you in something sooner, would you rather be in sooner, or would you rather wait until June?
No, I mean, if I find the right house, I think it would be nice to get in sooner.
So you're not stuck in a lease or anything that says I can't move until June?
No, we're living in my mom's backyard right now in the tent, so we're fine.
Well, let's get you the hell out of there. Let's get you the hell out of there. So from there, so once you've had that conversation and you're showing homes, right?
Yeah.
What you've done is you've isolated objections, right? So when you go show them the next home,
More specific.
right, and they say, and you're like, you know what? This has the right size backyard, right? Yeah, it does. Okay, and it actually has the 4 bedrooms you wanted. That's great, and the formal dining room, right? And this is a neighborhood that's in the school district you want. Everything's good. So are you ready to write an offer?
Yeah.
And if the answer from there is no, why not?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're just not sure.
We don't like to walk away with
Yeah, that's
that wasn't necessary.
right. That was not on our right. So at this point, I'm going to ask, are you serious about purchasing a home? Is there something that's stopping you from? I know it's a scary experience. I mean, I'm a real estate agent. When I bought my home, I was nervous, right? So it's a scary experience, but it's my job to take all of those issues and hurdles that, yeah, and smooth it out the way for you, right? And take away all the stress for you, and negotiate a great deal for you. So what other reasons are there for you not to put in an offer right now? And it might just be, some people are, or they're BSing, right? You're going to have to fire a client sometimes. You're going to get to the point where, and it's, you know what, Mr. or Mrs., but you need an agent whose expertise exceeds my own. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and find another agent, because I've shown you everything out there, and you're not happy, and you're not willing to make an offer on anything, to actually purchase anything. So clearly I'm doing something wrong. So it might benefit the both of us if you find a different agent to work with. All right.
And that'll actually bring a lot of perspective into their world as well, because they're either not going to want to lose you, or they're going to be okay.
Look, I had 3 other buyers when we first met, and all three of them are in homes right now. You're the only one still looking. And at a certain point, I just feel like you're going to continue to look, or I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm breaking up with you. Like, it's over between us. But that happens. I'm not showing 30 homes to anybody. Probably won't show 20 to anybody. All right. And you bet, unless it's an expensive ass house.
I think I showed like 15 homes or 17 homes or something like that, close to 20.
So you're getting to that point where you're like, man, you're not.
Well, no. Well, top it all off, they decided they're not going to buy because all of a sudden he finds out he's going to be moving to Korea.
Well, that's a good reason not to buy.
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't find out and then not buy. I'm sorry. Let me phrase that differently. they were like, oh, I think we're just gonna hold off, like we don't know right now, or something happened. And so I kept following up with them. Oh yeah, and then the lease ended. They were living in a hotel. Well, what are we doing? What's going on? And then finally, later on, it came out. Oh, so I just found out I'm gonna be moving to Korea.
Oh, so it sounds like BS from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll have that. Some people are.
$30,000 below offers on like perfect homes.
Yeah.
And he was,
Yeah. I tell people, like, I've told clients that say things like that, let's go 30 grand below. I can't write that offer. I'm a real estate professional, and I would look unprofessional writing an offer to a colleague of mine $30,000 below market value when they have multiple offers. I'm going to look like I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm not going to put myself in that position. I work with these people on a regular basis. I can't write that offer.
yeah.
I can give you the name of a couple of agents who don't really know what they're doing and they don't have any business, and they'll write any offer in the world, and they'll write it up for you if you want me to give you their information. I'm not going to do that, though. I'm not putting my name on an offer like that. Back in the day, 08, 09, we'll write any offer because no, all these properties sitting on the market forever, we can write up anything. Half price, let's do it. I'll write any offer. This is not that market. It's not the market. I'm not going to look unprofessional. Let me call them. If they got no offers, then we can write it. If they have offers, I'm not writing your offer. Anything else? All right. Thank you for your time. Hope you learned some things. Hope you got some ahas. Hope I didn't use too much foul language for the camera. And bleep out that thing I said about Century 21.
Which one?